my relationship with Mr. Sutherland was mirroring the relationship Craig had with Harrigan, just with how they eventually became closer and how much Craig admired and looked up to Mr. Harrigan.
Well, I just wanted to start off by, asking you what really stood out about this film when you first read the script.
I just fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with Craig initially, and how he evolves throughout the story, but also how it's not. It has elements of horror sometimes, and it has elements of suspense. But for the most part, it's about this beautiful relationship between Harrigan and Craig, and also a coming of age story. And it's not defined by a single genre.
Yeah, definitely. Craig has a lot going on in his life. He's a very, complex character, I'm sure, to dive into. Did you get a chance to talk to Stephen King about this character at all, since he did write the original short story?
No, not personally, but I definitely dove headfirst into the book and used it as a guiding light throughout the film, because you do get to see into his mind more than you would in the script in the film.
So had you heard of the book before you filmed this movie, or was this the first time you'd heard of it?
This was the first time I heard of it. It's still fairly new, but it was had come out pretty recently when the script first came around. John was quick to adapt it over. Yeah, so I hadn't ever heard of it. I'd seen If It Bleeds everywhere, like the cover of the book, sort of at airports and whatever, subconsciously.
And then, like you were saying a little bit earlier, the friendship between Craig and Harrigan is honestly the true premise of this movie. So, what was important for you guys to kind of get across to the audience when you were crafting this relationship?
I don't know if we were necessarily crafting it, but just sort of living in it. I think we were all lucky to have Stephen King's writing as a guide in this relationship. The writing was already so complex, and then I think we were just I was definitely just saying whatever I needed to be said, what was written, and then I think everything came afterwards. Like I think my relationship with Mr. Sutherland was mirroring the relationship Craig had with Harrigan, just with how they eventually became closer, and how much Craig admired and looked up to Mr. Harrigan, and how much he learned from him. And it was just a little bit accelerated where that spanned and his entire adolescence. For me, it was compacted into a few months.
Lastly, I know that you're also interested in writing and directing, kind of some behind the scenes stuff. Did you get a chance to learn any more about that process while you were working on this film?
Yeah, I always am fortunate to learn when I'm on set. But I think working with John was a great education. Just seeing how he works with different actors. Someone like me who's very young. He treated me with a lot of kindness, and then working with someone like Donald, who is this legendary, all-powerful actor who knows better than anyone else in the room, and seeing him balance that and how much respect he has for the crew, it was definitely a learning experience.
So cool. All right. Well, I'm going to have to wrap, but thanks for chatting with me. Really enjoyed this film.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too.